Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. Today is a video all about me. So if you were expecting a review or another non-Joey related video, I'm going to have to apologize. This is going to be a video about kind of a 1 year in YouTube. But hold on. There are some bloopers at the end. So if you want to skip to that timestamp, if you don't care about the rest and you just want to see me being completely out of my element while I'm filming videos, check out those bloopers because some of them are pretty funny. I can guarantee you they're worth a watch, and they're basically just my collection of bloopers over the last year of doing this. So enjoy. For everybody else, this is my 1 year anniversary of doing YouTube. And it all started with a little review on the Anbernic RG353V, which if you go and look at it now, it is an absolutely terrible video. Hey everyone, and welcome to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today we're going to be looking at the Anbernic RG353V. The audio is off, the whole video is off. It's so weird how you can go from the beginning and filming without knowing anything to nowadays. And I'm not perfect nowadays, but I'm a lot better than that first video. And I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to see it just for fun, but I wouldn't suggest watching it. And if you're wondering why I'm holding a PS Vita, I just got it. It's like my 5th Vita that I've ever had. And so I've been setting it up and I'm just watching the downloads go in. And I figured I would just keep it next to me just to have something to hold because I like doing videos while I'm holding a handheld of some sort. So that's why I have a PS Vita in my hands. So I kind of just mentioned it, but I had zero filming experience at all coming into this. I didn't know what ISO was on a camera. I'm still using my phone camera for all of my shots. I don't use an actual DSLR or any sort of camera. It's just my phone because I don't really need to use anything else. And so I had to learn everything from editing to filming to audio, which audio is the worst out of every single thing. But once you get it to be a little bit better, even though, again, still not perfect. I have one microphone that's right above, and you'll see this in a little bit because I'm going to do a little tour of what I'm filming in. Otherwise, like I said, no filming experience, so it's been a learning curve over the last year. But even on top of that, I was never a YouTube person. I didn't watch YouTube. I still don't watch YouTube. And I'm sorry to every other creator that comments on my videos and says nice work and all that sort of thing, because I just don't watch YouTube a lot. So it's tough for me because now when you do it throughout the entire day, the last thing you want to do is go and watch YouTube because you're just doing it. So it's tough because it's never been my thing. YouTube video is not my thing, but I'm glad for everybody that it is because I wouldn't be able to do this if you weren't watching. And so on that topic, it wasn't a year of twiddling my thumbs. We just passed 20,000 subscribers, which isn't a metric that matters anymore, but it is something that is nice to see. And I love seeing that number going up because it means that I'm getting consistent people that want to watch my videos, and that's fantastic. But on top of that, we just passed 3.2 million views, which is absolute insanity for starting in a year. So that's crazy. And I'm looking at my tablet here because that's where all my notes are, and that keeps it easy for me to just keep looking back. But website views, we just passed 7,000 in a month or something along those lines. That website I'm really excited for because I put a lot of effort into it and a lot of work. And it's still going. So if you have any emulated related questions, I'm pretty sure my website probably has an answer for it. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. But it's just been awesome to have support from everybody. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but this is actually my full-time job. I left my career and decided to do this instead because, well, a whole bunch of different reasons, but this is so much better for mental health on my end to just do this as my job. And I'm still being able to provide and do everything else on my part. So it's a much better decision to move into YouTube as a full-time job for me. Now, if you're curious what my days look like and what my studio looks like, let's do a little bit of a tour now, and I'll give you an idea of what everything is, and we can talk about it a little bit. All right, and let's talk about the glamorous lifestyle of doing YouTube. It's a disaster. I have my main desktop computer that I do editing on. I'm actually editing this video right now as we speak. And just the second monitor where I have other things on. You can see I have my RG556 just around and some other stuff I still use this controller quite a bit for Rocket League, and my computer is just a disaster. I'm sure everybody's computer is a disaster, but mine is real bad. I need to fix this at some point. I have an access point that's just right on there for all of the testing that I do in here. Here is the device shelf. I didn't clean up anything before this. I just want to show you the unfiltered Joey experience in my studio office. Here are just a bunch of my devices, just all around for you to see. And then that's where you usually see me. So let's explain here. I have my tripod that has the microphone that's right above where I am, right out of shot. I've got two lights that bring down. You never really see that statue. I just love having it. And I have another light that adds kind of a orange glow. So if we turn everything on, you can see what it looks like. That's the idea right there. And my phone just goes right in this little spot so you can see it all. I have this monitor, and we're going to go around, and you're probably really confused as to what this contraption is, but we'll explain. That monitor will show what I'm filming. So I connect it to my phone, and so I can see myself as I'm filming. It just helps me stay in frame and make sure that everything is okay. My tablet, that usually you can't see, but it's something that I use for my script. I have a little button to turn filming on and off when I push it, and that helps me. A little remote for my lights. Can't really tell, but it's mapped behind, so you don't usually see that. Other than that, that is where I film from. Now you're probably wondering, what is this contraption? And I have Russ from Retro Game Core to thank for this one. But when you're filming a device above, and I'm just going to grab the 556. When you're filming a device like this, if you do it normally, you get a whole bunch of reflection. See how that reflection? But if you do it under the canopy, it's just black. And so it helps a lot when it comes to reflections and glare, because it is super difficult to just put your phone over and record without seeing your phone or camera. And then I have two lights that help give me a lot of light. So those will be on typically, and that gives me a nice little spot to film from. And then what I'll usually do is swivel that monitor around so that I can see what I'm filming and not have to look at my phone. And I just look at the big monitor to see what I'm doing. So tricks of the trade. I'm just giving it all away today, setting up all of the future retro gaming YouTubers in how to do things. So that's the tour. That's the studio. Hopefully that gives you some idea of what life looks like behind the scenes. Let's go back to the video. Most of the time I'm at my desk in my office, and I'll typically record audio for a video in the morning like I'm doing right now. And then I'll chat on Discord or check up on Reddit, see if I can answer a few posts of people that are having issues getting Pokemon to save, because that's the usual one. And then I'll just kind of help where I can, and then jump into either editing or doing my normal thing during the day. It's kind of different. Every day is a little bit different. Sometimes I'm here filming the entire day and I don't have a chance to edit. Sometimes I'm just filming in the morning and then I'm editing in the afternoon. What's awesome is that no day is the same. I have to kind of change my schedule every day based on what's happening or what I'm doing and all that sort of thing. And that's the fun part. But the absolute best part of it is I set my own hours. So I've stuck to a strict schedule of 9 to 5. That's been my specific schedule every day since I started. Because if I don't have a schedule, I'm just going to get lazy and it'll be good for anybody. So 9 to 5 every day, and 5 is my cutoff. It doesn't matter. I'm done for the day at that point. I don't work weekends. I don't do any of that. So I just want to have a normal kind of life this way. And I value work-life balance a lot. So that for me is number one priority. I don't see what the point is of being your own boss if you're going to be working late hours or weekends and all that sort of thing. It doesn't sit right with me. So for me, 9 to 5, no weekends, and I am out of here. I want to go do other things. I want to play on my PlayStation Vita. I don't want to make a video on it. I want to play on it. And that's where I am. I think a lot of people assume that this is a really easy thing to do. I mean, how hard could it be? You just grab a camera, point it at a device, and just start filming, and that's all it is to it. And I thought that, so I get it. But once you actually do it, once you do it consistently, once you keep doing it, and once you're aiming for actual growth in any way, shape, or form, it is not that at all. You can sit there and point a camera at a device all day long, but if you're going to do that for years on end, you got to start improving on something. And so that's where you kind of learn things. You learn how to balance audio. You learn how to do a lot better on the video side of things. You learn how to make a set better, how to adjust your camera settings and all of the things and editing. And it's so much. And there's a lot to learn and it's not easy at all. One thing that I still forget to do to this day, and you've probably noticed it and in some videos, at least in the past, I forget to clean my lens a lot of time. And so when I'm starting to film and I forget to clean my lens, and I actually did it in this video, so I don't know if I look a little bit off, but I think I'm okay. But when you do that, you kind of get like a little haze on it and it looks a little off, and I'd never realize it until afterwards. So I've tried to make a note to just clean the lens on the camera, but I still forget. But then when you're actually filming a video, you have to look at it from a perspective of, is this an enjoyable video? Am I sitting here pointing a video at a PlayStation Vita and I've just been rambling for 20 minutes? And that's why I script all of my videos so I know exactly what I'm saying. Right now, I'm not even reading off of my script. I'm going to look back for some points and things like that, but I script it. And I script everything. So it's kind of a thing where I keep going back just to make sure I'm on track. But otherwise, I'll cut out a lot of my videos too. Like there's parts where I start to ramble and rant about something. And I look back and I'm like, I just spent 5 minutes talking about why Ambernick is doing this stupid thing. And so I cut it all out because I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. Or like I'll spend 5 minutes talking about something else and I just need to cut it out. So it's very hard is what my point is. It's very hard to do this. It's very hard to do it with keeping your audience engaged. It's very hard to just do it and make sure everybody cares about what you're saying throughout a full 20-minute video or however long it's going to be. But on top of all of that, when there's no devices coming out, so the little dry spell that we've had in the last few months, that's where your value as a creator really shines because now you have no devices to review. And reviews are the biggest kind of single day views that you're going to get. A lot of people care about those. Setup guides aren't really that for a lot of people. And so when you don't have a review and when you don't have devices coming out, you start to look at what other content can you make? And you've probably seen this over the last few months from multiple different content creators. And you've probably made a joke of like, well, it's, I guess, a dry spell because here's a video about nothing. And yeah, it's kind of that because it's good to just keep doing review and review and review because that means you have something coming in. But the moment you don't, you now have to think about what do people want to see right now? What do you want to make a video on? And for me, it's easy because I just make videos on things that I want to do, like Dolphin HD texture packs, PS2 texture packs. Those are things I cared about. I was curious. I actually wasn't familiar with them. And I'm like, let me learn them. And then I'm going to make a video on it so I can teach others. That's how I see it. And I kind of prefer when there's no devices to review because I actually can stretch the creative writing a little bit to do videos on things that I want to do. But those videos don't do the best comparatively to a review or a setup guide that's a really well-known device, all of that. And setup guides for me are my bread and butter. They're the ones that I like in doing the most out of any video, but they don't do well, at least from the beginning. But you turn around for a second, turn right back, and after a week or a month, it's suddenly one of your best videos. And that's happened with my Miu Mini Plus and my R36S setup guides and other setup guides too. And so I don't worry about them anymore. I put them out into the world, hope that it helps people, and I turn around and suddenly they're doing really well. And I'm like, yes, that is awesome for me. And I'm awesome. And it's awesome that it's helping others. So it's great. But contrary to popular belief, as much as review videos are great, I actually don't enjoy reviewing bad devices. And I'm probably one of the more controversial creators in this space in the last year for talking about devices that I don't like, but I prefer it that way because how in the world can you like every single device that comes out? I mean, there's absolutely no way unless you have no standards at all. But for me, that's why I do it. It's just devices will come out and I don't like them. There's different things that I don't like about it, and I'm going to talk about it because that's kind of what I do here. That's the whole point. And you can't really be like, hey, don't send me that device because it sucks, because you don't know that it sucks until you get it. And so when you get it, you have an obligation to do it because a company sent it to you. They spent their money sending you that device for review so you could advertise their company. And so at that point, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this video, but I don't like this device. And so we're going to talk about that. But you know, at the end of the day, it's not going to do well view-wise because not liking a device doesn't do as well as liking a device. It's been proven. And you're not going to get affiliate links from it and all that sort of thing. And we all know that's going to happen. And so I'm sitting there like, well, I'm just going to put my video up because maybe people feel the same way I do. And it's happened because we can go back to all of the growth in the past year. And that's the reason why I continually do those types of videos, even though I don't want to, because I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that have the same feelings that I do on those devices. So that's where I come in. Because it's not just reviewing a bad device. There is a lot of work that goes into testing it. And so I work 9 to 5 doing editing and recording and scripting and all that sort of thing. But after that, I am testing devices. I am playing, well, not the Vita, but I am playing a device just to see what it does. What can it do? What games can I play on it? And keep testing and testing and testing. And that's my free time, if you will. And so if I would rather play my Odin 2 or my Steam Deck OLED, I can't because I have to test this device and I have to come up with a good review that makes sense and isn't full of lies or full of things that I didn't test myself and all that sort of thing. So you spend a lot of time doing that and you kind of lose the fun part of just sitting down and playing a game because you can't. You have to go and test this. So when you play games all day long and you do YouTube all day long, the last thing you want to do when you're done is do more YouTube or more games. And that's kind of where it backfires on you a little bit. But thankfully, I love games and handhelds and all of this just enough that it doesn't really affect me. Plus, I have other hobbies like Kindle and reading. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I read. Last year, I did about 70 books. So I read quite a bit throughout the year. I multiple hours per day, and I stick to that schedule. It helps me sleep and it helps me get kind of a groove towards the end of the day. And I love it. So if you aren't reading, why aren't you reading? Just go start reading. Back to YouTube. I never once thought I would grow or come to this point, put it that way. I figured I would just do a few videos and that would be it, but they kept taking off and taking off and taking off. And then I was like, okay, I guess there's something here, so let's do something about it. And my setup guides have helped a lot of different people, and reviews have helped a lot of different people. And I continue to go through Discord and Reddit and help people where I can, as much as I can, because that's kind of how I started, and I figure I'm going to still do that. But my ultimate philosophy is to teach a man to fish. I try and do it from a different perspective of, hey, we're going to go do this, and this is why we're doing this. We're going to turn on auto load state and auto save state. And we're doing that because when you go into RetroArch and you boot up a game, we want to go right into the save state. And when we exit RetroArch, we want to save the state. That's the kind of scenario that I like doing. I want to explain it because I don't want you coming back after. I want you to just learn it. And that way, the next time an Android guide from me comes up, you're like, well, I don't need this. I know what I'm doing, but let me just skim it to see if there's anything new. That's where I want you to be because that's what my guides are set up to be. And that's what I'm trying to do as I do them. And if you're sitting there like, well, that's easy for you to say. You've been doing this for a year and all that sort of thing, and you know what you're doing. I didn't know what a retro handheld was in January of 2023. Yeah, that's when I started. I didn't know what a retro handheld was in January of 2023. My first video was in April of 2023. My first device was in March of 2023. I learned all of that in a month or two. I just kept scouring and learning enough where I started creating guides about it. So no excuses. You can learn it too. If I did, you could do it. And maybe in a year, you could be in the same position I am. Let's do it. But back to reviews, and This is in no way targeted at any group of reviewers, any content creators, anything like that. But I think a lot of us know, and especially me coming into this, you don't get kind of an unfiltered view of a lot of devices. When you go and look at large content creators, million plus views and all, or million plus subscribers and all that sort of thing, you know in the back of your mind, this is a sponsored video. This is a scenario where they don't want to upset the relationship with whoever they're getting the device from. Because how can you consistently get pre-review devices if you constantly have bad things to say about them? And the answer is you don't. And I mean, it's happened with me. Ambernick isn't sending me devices anymore because I said the 35XX Plus and H were lazy devices by software standards. And they are. There's no lying about that. The only difference is I made it more blunt than anybody else because they are that way. And that's how I feel, and that's how I do reviews. And I know that's controversial. A lot of people aren't going to like it. But that's how I am, and that's how I prefer to do it. If it leads to a scenario where manufacturers are like, I'm not going to send him devices anymore, then so be it. I'll just be in the same position I was before they sent me things, and I'll just keep reviewing them after the fact, and I'll do it later, and views won't be as high, and I won't gain as much, and all that sort of thing, but I don't care. At least my views, whether they're right or wrong or whatever it is, they're coming from me and not anybody else. There's nobody giving me some sort of script. I've seen that been touted that like Ambernick sends us scripts of what to say. Like Ambernick doesn't even send me a tracking number, never mind a script. But either way, I'm kind of just wanted to be known that like, hey, whatever Joey's going to say, it's going to be from Joey. And that's how I kind of go about it. Put it this way, if Lenovo sending me the Legion Go wasn't enough to change anything that I would do in a normal review, then nobody will. I'm not going to sell my soul for $100 device. It's just not going to happen. I don't care. So controversial reviews are still going to be there in the next year. So be ready for that. There are a lot of, at least in the retro handheld space, there are a lot of devices that just are not worth your money at all. And so I'm going to tell you that because they aren't. And because I value money a lot more than I think a lot of people do. And so when it comes to that scenario, I want you to look at my channel and I want you to see, oh, Joey liked this video or liked this device, but oh, he really didn't like this one, because that is how it should work. That is a reviewer's job. Tell you this device is not great, this device is good. But again, it goes back to we get paid based off affiliate links, we get paid based off views, we get paid based off of sponsorships. And I mean sponsorships when I put in a PCBWay ad or I put in a Ugreen ad and they're paying for that. And I'm upfront that, hey, this video was sponsored by X. I don't mean Ambernick sending me a device and they're sponsoring that video, because that doesn't happen. But when you get paid off of all of this stuff and a lot of it is tied to you having a positive review, you can start to see why creators will do that. Because when you have a positive review, you get more people buying those affiliate links, you get more people watching that video, and suddenly every number goes up. And it's going to keep happening that way because there's no other better way to do this. Even if you were to buy it with your own money, you're still going to put affiliate links in there because that's how we support our growth. I prefer to live in a world where you could do both. You can have integrity and you can make money doing it to keep you supported and keep doing these types of videos. And I think I've straddled that line pretty well. Maybe not as well as a lot of people want me to, but again, that's me. But again, a lot of that doesn't even matter. I was pretty vocal that I don't like the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro for comfort and a lot of other reasons. But guess which of my affiliate links does probably one of the best? Number one is AY Anode in 2. Not shocking, a lot of people are buying that. Number 2 is the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. I don't know why. I was pretty vocal. I don't like the device. It's not for me. And that's fine. It's still a great device, just not for me. But it is still one of my best-selling affiliate link devices. And that should tell you a lot. That should tell you that you can still have that integrity and you could still have things that are going to help you stay supported. And you don't have to compromise yourself to do so. And so this is a long-winded way of getting back to the point that for the next year, Joey is still going to be Joey. My setup guides are still going to be coming out. Going to do a lot more work on my website because I enjoy doing that. And we're just going to continue doing what we're doing. And if in next year we come back and I'm in the same spot, then fantastic. We are still growing. We are still doing great things. But if it all fizzles out and it doesn't work out, then off I go into the sunset, and I'm just going to probably go review some fantasy books because that's what I read and I like doing that. But probably not. We're probably still going to be doing this. And now, to leave you off with some fun at the end of this video, like I promised, here are some bloopers. And these are bloopers that I accumulated over doing my filming since April 1st, 2nd of 2023, which is my first video until now. I forgot to do this at the beginning, so I started doing it at some point this year. From now until next year, I'll probably have a lot more, but enjoy what I have right now. Thank you all again for your support and watching, and enjoy the bloopers. I'm going to end it here. I hope this review was useful. I'm going to end it here. I hope this fuck. I'm going to end it here. I hope this review was useful. Fuck. And I'm going to add in this paragraph. And I'm going to add in this paragraph. And because it seems like for any of the new devices coming out, the Ionia. Because it seems like for any of the new devices coming out, like the Ionia Kun and as well as the Lenovo. Because it seems like for the new devices coming out, like the Ionia Kun. Fuck. Because it seems like for any of the new devices coming out, like the Ionia Kun. What is it? Kun? Because it seems like for any of the new devices. I can't. Plus, you're going to get to see a whole bunch more video games running on that. Plus, you'll get to see Plus, you're going to be able to see a whole lot more video games on it. God damn it. Plus, you're going to. You follow the story of two officers from the Decian. You follow the story of two officers from the Decian. God damn. You follow the story of two officers from the Decian Liberators. Let's try this again. You follow the story of two officers from the. Jesus, God damn it. All right. You follow the story of two. Oh. Special thanks to Go Game Geek. Special thanks to Go Game Geek. Special thanks to Go Game Geek. If you go on Go Game Geek's website. And if it sounds like I'm a little bit angry or disappointed, it's because I'm a little. And if it sounds like I'm a little bit angry or disappointed, it's because I'm a little bit. And if it sounds like I'm a little bit angry or disappointed, it's because I'm. And content creators just kind of teaching. And content creators just kind of. Fuck. And like before, we're going to categorize. And like before, we're going to categorize. And like before, we're going to categorize. Jesus Christ. This is Shantae. This is Shantae's events. This is Shantae's. This is Shantae Advance Risky Revolution. This retails for $90 through Go Game Geek right now. This retails for $90 through Go Game Geek, and they're the company that sent me this device for review. As usual, they have. Fuck. This retails for $90 through Go Game Geek, who sent me. Oh my god. DuckStation, you can't do that. It's just not something you can do anymore because of Google's store. In DuckStation, you can't do that because of Google's scope. In In DuckStation, you can't do that because of Android's scoped storage. So, hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast, where I go over the top news in retro handheld, retro gaming, and just general. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Now we want to flash your SD. Now we want to flash that.